Well, I'm a fish immunologist, so that means I look at how fish resist diseases and the mechanisms within their bodies that do that. There's several very different aspects to this. One is the basic biology aspect. Fish have almost the same immune system we have. They have antibodies, they have cells that chew up bacteria. However, the way that they use those cells, the way that they use the molecules involved is very different. They're regulated very differently because fish live at a wide range of temperatures. So there's very interesting implications for the evolution of the immune system and understanding how it works and how our immune system works. The second part is aquaculture, because aquaculture is something we're going to have to figure out. We want to eat fish. Aquaculture is the only way of producing fish that's growing. So a lot of it involves figuring out how fish in aquaculture situations get sick, how we can develop methods to make them not get sick and keep them healthy so we can grow them for food production without destroying the environment. And then thirdly, the environment is a very important factor too. So I work a lot on wild populations of fish. Currently I'm working on Arctic char. They live in lakes sometimes that are only 2 or 3 degrees Celsius. They live and reproduce at those temperatures. Climate change is going to make those lakes up in the high Arctic change by 2 or 3 or 4 degrees. That's a huge change for these fish. Populations are going to shift, populations are going to die, so I have to understand the population biology and how their immune system works at that temperature in order to predict or understand the effects that are going to happen when the temperature changes. So climate change is a big part of it as well. The best part about working at Waterloo is about water. So we have a water institute, we have a Canadian water network here. We have a lot of researchers working in water and environmental chemicals on the things that I'm interested in. So the best things about here is it's how connected I am to other people in my field, right? And it's very easy to develop projects, to work together, to synergize our efforts to find bigger and better answers. So this is basically the aquatic facility where we hold our fish. This is the tanks where we would keep our fish before we do experiments with them. So we have rooms upstairs where we'd be doing experiments with them. And those experiments go on for variously months or weeks. Here we keep the fish, we feed them, and occasionally we'll take them out and take a blood sample from them and then put them back in here, just because we use the blood. Immune system cells are in blood, and that's the easiest access we can get. So I'm just catching some fish. I'm going to put them in a mild anesthetic. This mostly numbs their muscles and stops them from splashing around and kicking while we're trying to handle them. Typically we do this also, it numbs them so that we can take a blood sample from them. It's like an anesthetic as well. So just takes a few seconds for them to get the anesthetic, and you can tell that they're getting it because they start turning upside down because their muscles don't work and they can't regulate themselves in the water very well. So this is a rainbow trout. It's our very typical model system in my lab because they're important for aquaculture. A lot of aquaculture is done on Atlantic salmon, but we don't live beside the ocean here in Waterloo, so I can't culture salmon. Normally we would take them over here, we'd lay them on the table, and then if we were going to take a blood sample, we would normally, actually, very interestingly, take the blood from the tail. Just below the spine there, there's a big cavity where the blood pools, and you can just stick a needle in, pull it out, collect the blood with almost no pain to them, and then you can just put them back in the water. See, the anesthetic's going to wear off soon, so I'm going to put him back in the tank. Really love what you're doing. I did it because I really love biology, and that's the only way you're going to get through. If you really want to be a researcher, if you want to study biology and get through grad school, it's going to take a lot of hard work. You have to really love what you're doing. Find something that excites you. Really, you've got to know the answer. You can't sleep at night so you know the answer. Find someone who's doing that, who's just as passionate as you, and work with them. That's the best advice I can give.